Hi everyone, welcome. Happy March. It's Women's History Month. I'm so excited. We're launching this new series starting today for Women's History Month, and it's going to be phenomenal. Today we're going to be doing a purpose and power prep talk for all of you ladies and men that's going to be joining us today. We have a special guest, Ashley Porter from the Girl Code Collective. She's a phenomenal person to pretty much pour into individuals. I gathered that from her, everything about her brand and everything about her company. And if you don't know, this is going to be on the Journey to Develop Her podcast. We're doing a live edition right now of Journey to Develop Her in honor of Women's History Month. Again, and fellas, if you're on here, we're not just talking to the ladies, we're talking to the fellas too. You need to be operating in purpose and power. So this is going to be a great prep talk for you as well. All right. Hello,
Hey,
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
All is well. Thank you for coming on. I'm so excited to hear you today.
Listen, I'm so excited.
I'm so happy for us to, one, pour into each other, and then as well as pour into whoever's watching right now and who will be watching in the future. Basically, we're in the third month of 2022.
It's
Okay.
crazy. It's
I don't
crazy.
even know where it went, but we here.
How? How?
And hopefully and prayerfully in this podcast, live podcast, like mind you, we'll be able to get recharged, be brought back together mentally, spiritually, to push forth, right? March 4th is coming, and we literally need to march forth.
No,
And
for real.
everything that we're doing, all of our goals that we didn't even get to punch off our list yet, we need to tap into that. So thank you for coming on here. Everyone, this is Ashley Porter from the Girl Code Collective. I hope you all will welcome her below. And she's amazing. I actually went on her podcast, the Girl Code Collective. And if you haven't watched that episode, it was really powerful, really amazing.
Yeah.
Go check it out. And we're not going to talk about my journey because I'm done talking about me. I'm here to talk about Ashley and who is Ashley, what she's doing in business. She's now even in real estate, which is amazing. So Ashley, welcome to the podcast.
Thank
Tell
you.
us who you are, where you from, all those little details for now.
Right. Okay. So thank you for having me. I'm so glad that we were able to make this happen today. Like, I really enjoyed speaking with you on my platform. So now to jump over on yours, like I always say, collaboration breeds growth, and that's what we're all about at the Girl Code Collective. So I'm excited for today. I'm Ashley Speaks. I am currently located in Maryland. I am the owner, founder, visionary of the Girl Code Collective, where millennial women thrive in purpose and on purpose, unapologetically. Over there, I do personal development coaching, business coaching, authorship coaching. Basically, I am passionate about people being who God has created and called them to be unapologetically. So whatever the vision is, whatever the goal is, whatever the dream, the desire, I help bring it from up here down here into actionable steps and help give that push, give that mindset shift, give the resources, the tools, so that it's not so overwhelming and daunting, but so that you can actually execute in excellence and be in position to not just position yourself to thrive, but also the people that are assigned to you, so they can thrive as well. So that's what I do.
I love it. Execute in excellence.
Yeah.
That's key. That's so key. And sometimes, it is hard to do it. We're not going to say it's going to be easy. So this is why you do need strategists like Ashley, and sometimes myself, depending on what your goals are, to help push you forth in what you're supposed to be doing. So I love that. And whew, all right, now, excellence. How does one really effectively execute an excellence?
That's a key word, effective. Okay. we live in this microwave society, right? And we have social media and things are always coming. New things are always hitting us. So it's kind of hard to know where the target is sometimes. And so for me, excellence does not equate to perfection. It's not about having your T's dotted, your I's crossed. Like, it's not about perfectionism. There's only one person that's perfect. That's Jesus. We ain't him. We supposed to strive to be like him, but we ain't going to ever be him, right? So excellence for me is doing things with integrity, doing things with your whole heart, not halfway doing something, not just hustling past things, but actually being intentional about what you're putting in, because that's going to affect what you get out of any situation. Our mindset about how we approach a situation is excellence, not perfection, but excellence. So having that mindset of, okay, I'm not trying to be perfect, but I am going to do my best with what I have right now, right? Because life is a journey, business is a journey, entrepreneurship is a journey. Everything that we do, we're not just trying to make it to the end goal. We're trying to get better each step along the way. Hey, Latanya. So it's not necessarily about, I gotta be the best, do the best. Like, first of all, you're the best you can ever be. You're your only competition. Let's start there. So we have to put on the blinders sometimes, even on social media, like, have a purpose. I'm getting on here to post and I'm getting off because I can't get involved in the comparison game. I can't get involved in the scrolling because it's not effective. It's not helping me be better. So also executing excellence is being mindful about what you're watching, who you're following, what you're reading, what you're listening to, who you're surrounding yourself around, because even your circle can prohibit, delay your success, where you're going. Like, all these factors matter. And I feel like sometimes we aren't really taught about the importance of those things, but we have to be responsible and accountable for what we're ingesting physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. All those things contribute and help us to actually be able to not just produce, but to execute in excellence.
Wow. You hit it. You hit it right out the park with all of it. You talking to me.
Listen.
Talking. So people don't realize, like, I bring people on that I'm inspired by, and I literally interview them from the perspective of where I need the questions answered for myself. So
okay,
I,
listen,
I,
because we
I
in this
love
thing
all of that.
together. Listen.
Exactly. I love that. So, I mean, and I always pray for like a spirit of excellence. And again, some people may misconstrue it with perfection.
Yeah.
Okay. I was literally in a lift the other day and I forgot what the guy said, but I told him I'm executing. He was like, oh, that's interesting. It may not be perfect, but I'm executing. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing right now. And the aesthetics will come together later on. Okay. So
I'm
I love
positioned
that.
in purpose. I'm where I need to be. And it's not necessarily about trying to get there as much as it is I'm trying to become who I need to become in this season. And all the other things are going to come, it's going to happen. But how do I treat myself? How do I view myself? How do I see myself versus how am I always perceiving other people to perceive me? Like, I think we got it backwards a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, we do. Some of us do. So let's talk about power. Like, how do we activate? First of all, before we even get to power, again, we're in the third month of 2022. This is
Right.
Women's History Month. And men, we're not excluding y'all. We want y'all to be empowered too. Okay, we actually need the men to be more empowered.
That part.
Like, we need y'all to be more empowered so we could just be your partner.
Thank you.
Okay? Yeah. We don't want to be your mother. We don't want to be nothing else. We just want to be your helpmate. So we do need y'all to be empowered right now. So we're not carrying all of the load, right? And I'm sure there's men out there that are doing what they have to do. So I'm not saying there are none. But what do we need to be doing right now to start executing our goals that we wrote down at the beginning of this year?
Listen, here's the thing about goals. I'm big on writing things down, right? I'm big on not just leaving everything in here and in here, right? You have to get it out, right? So it can be birthed, right, into the atmosphere, so it can start to take life, take form, right? So to executing your power, to get those goals not just on the paper, but to actually start to grow legs and start moving, right? you have to, first of all, be honest. Be honest about where you are. Be honest about the goal that you're setting. If I set a goal in January to say, okay, I want to make, everybody's big thing is about, 6 figures, 10K weeks, 10K day, all this other stuff. If I set those goals, but my discipline isn't set up, how am I going to even sustain what I'm trying to bring in? If my back end isn't straight, how can I even allocate properly what's happening? So we have to be honest with ourselves. We have to do the dirty work of the details, the minute things that we don't really like to do, but we have to do them. We can't always push it to the side or avoid the necessities that need to be in order so that we can actually not just sustain or survive, but so that we can thrive in our position, in our purpose, in our power. So first thing would be to be honest with yourself. The second thing would be to not feel like you have to do it all, be all. That's not the goal, right? Like I said, collaboration breeds growth. Teamwork makes the dream work. We're here to help each other. We're called to be together for unity, to lift one another up, to help. And sometimes I'll know something and I need help in a certain area. Like I won't know how to do it all. Like we're not supposed to do it all by ourselves. So get out of our own way. Let go of the ego, let go of the pride, let go of the, oh, I gotta grind, I gotta hustle, it gotta be on me. Who got time for that? We're supposed to be doing this thing smart, right? We're supposed to work smarter, not harder. Delegate.
Yes.
Get what you need to get in order. And now it's difficult to get the funding sometimes. Like when you're starting out in business, it's always hard to get the capital, right? But that's why Deontay teaches about business credit. There are ways, and we have all these excuses because we're afraid to step out on faith. We're afraid to bet on ourselves. We're afraid to try, but you have to do the research so that you can not only get there, but build yourself up in the process, right? So that would be another thing, to do the research. Stop just waiting and going off of, oh, he said this, she said this, they said that. Who is they anyway? And why are they experts? Like you have to get outside of what you've been told and taught, because if you're looking at the generation before us, they operated in fear. They operated in limiting beliefs. They had limited mindsets. It's not effective for right now, right? So you could be the only one in your family that is doing X, Y, and Z. You could be the only one in your friend group that has these wild dreams and visions and imagination. You could be the only one, and guess what? That's a good thing. Stop trying to blend in. So own your authenticity, own who you are, own what you're trying to produce in the earth, and stop making apologies for it. Stop shrinking down. Walk into that space, occupy it all. Occupy it all. So that's how you executing your power. Being knowledgeable, being humble, being hungry, and not just for the money, but being hungry for the knowledge, the wisdom, the experience. Sometimes the experience is way more than what somebody could pay you.
Yep. Ooh, that was so powerful, first of all. Hungry, like hunger is what breeds excellence, right? It also breeds being fearless.
Yeah.
I mean, if some of you may not know my story, but I didn't get started in real estate when I was ready. Oh, well, as an investor when I was ready. I did it because I was hungry.
Yeah.
I had my back was up against the wall. I had to get started. I knew that there was no job security. And as we all see, even to this day, there is no job security. So I wanted to take things into my own hand. And I knew that real estate was the gateway to wealth, right? That's the easiest way to become a millionaire. So I knew, like, listen, I don't have nothing. I even was fired, literally, multiple times in my career. But with that being said, I knew that, all right, if they could just easily fire me with a 2-year-old, Deontay, this is not where you're supposed to be. This is not your portion. Yeah. You got to learn how to get money without depending on, like, my idea of becoming a millionaire. I'm like, I'm either going to be famous or I'm going to win the lotto. Like, that's all I had in my mind. I'm like, how else am I going to build wealth? And literally, real estate was that vehicle, was that tool to help me fulfill my dreams and my goals. I'm not a millionaire yet, pending millionaire, pending billionaire in my mind. So again, just getting started, even when you don't have nothing, even if you have bad credit. I focus on credit restoration and even wealth restoration, right? Um, but if you don't, even if you're not ready, still get started. There's other ways you can get started without having everything checked off. Okay, there's a lot of programs out here that doesn't even if you want to become a homeowner, they don't even look at your credit. Okay, they are coaching and evaluating other things in your life, but they're not making credit a deciding factor. So I'm sorry, I just went on a tangent.
No, that was good though.
And also, while it is on my mind, starting this month, I'm going to be partnering with a nonprofit to help people launch their businesses. Right now, it's only in New Jersey, but if we do have affiliate channels or area, I mean, they're focused on urban communities, Black women, women of color. They're not really doing men right now, but women of color who are looking to launch their business and they need a small micro loan to get started. So, and they don't check credit. So I will be launching that probably mid-March. So look out for that. So if you have not done so already, go to my website. Sorry, I'm just plugging everything because I'm
Listen,
remembering
you
it right
gotta
now.
help people. We talking about resources. It works.
Right. So go to journeytodeveloper.com. Go sign up for updates and tricks and tips and all kind of stuff on the website. So when it is released, you can tap into that. But anyway, let's go back to Ashley, who is now a licensed real estate agent, correct?
No, I actually take
Not
my
yet?
test. No,
Oh,
I gotta take my test on the
okay.
8th of this month. So yeah, I'm almost there. Almost there.
You got it though. You passed the class. You got it. She understands what she needs to do in the next seasons of her life.
Yep.
So congratulations to you. I'm really happy for you. But yeah, so back to what you were discussing about. Now we're going to go to the topic of power. Okay. And I know a lot of us are like, all right, what do you mean by power? Like, what power do I have?
Yep.
Let's talk about the power and the authority we all have. If you don't mind.
Okay. So segueing from, we went from executing excellence to executing our power to now understanding the power you possess. That comes from knowing your identity. That comes from knowing who you are, knowing whose you are, not necessarily who people tell you to be, who people tell you that you should be, what you should do. Those suggestions are cool, they're cute, but sometimes they don't align with who God created you to be. So you have to be firm and go on that journey as well to identify who you are, and then give yourself grace as you grow, right? Give yourself the space to change your mind, to unlearn some things, to learn some things. But there's power in knowing who you are, and even understanding that that's a journey and a process in itself. Because in one season you could be rocking in one way, right? And then you realize, okay, something's happening. There's a shift taking place inside of me. The things that I used to find, enjoyment, pleasure in, is not the same. Like I'm growing, I'm changing, I'm evolving, and we have to not necessarily get so stuck on our comfort zone or get so hung up on who we were. Like you meet those people, or you encounter people, especially on Facebook, who like you went to high school with, and they're still proud to be that person they were all those years ago. And it's like, you haven't changed at all. Like, that's not a good thing, right? Mm-hmm. So your identity can't be your history, right? Your history is merely just the fuel that will propel you to your destiny. Like, we get hung up on, oh, this happened in my past, this happened before. Okay, we understand. We're not minimizing it. We need to unpack that thing. We need to deal with it. We need to say, that happened to me, but I'm going to use it to serve me. At this point, there's no more time for excuses. There's no more, woe is me. Nobody's coming to rescue you. It's okay. The daddy issues, the mommy issues, the baby daddy drama, all that stuff is part of life. And everybody is going through life, right? But the thing about it is, some people you'll see, they make a decision instead of making excuses. So in order to harness your power, in order to understand and identify your power, you have to know who you are. You have to know whose you are. You have to give yourself grace to grow, give yourself grace to become, and give yourself the permission and the freedom to be that person. And understand that just like the seasons change, your circle may change, The closeness of people may change, but that doesn't negate who you are or your power as a person. If things are shifting and moving, that just means you're growing. That's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that. And I mean, that spoke to me again. It spoke to me in so many different ways because I have been through a lot of changes over the last, we'll say even the last year. So everything I'm doing, even in my business, is just, I'm literally, if you're not in alignment, you got to go. Okay.
Yeah.
You got to go. Unfortunately, I love you.
Right.
You know, depending on who it is. Um, I want you to thrive. I want you to succeed. But if you're totally out of alignment with what God told me to do, I literally what God wants me to be connected to, you do have to go. Right.
Yeah.
I'll support you in your endeavors, but you have to go. So I've been in the season of literally rebuilding my whole life unexpectedly. Shout out to my sister Delisha E. Love her. So I'm literally in a position right now. I'm rebuilding everything from the ground up, and it's so interesting that you know this is a journey to develop her. So it's like, all right, I thought I was on the journey, but now I'm just literally restarting again. But
Yeah.
that's okay because this time the seed won't be in contamination. Okay, so when it's really time for the harvest, the seed will not be contaminated. So
That
I'm
part.
happy about that too.
That
Like,
part. And there's power in that too. And understanding that taking the authority, like so many women are used to being a supporting cast member in their own life. And that's the problem. You are the main character. You have to show up. You have to take the authority, take the power, take the responsibility, do whatever you need to do for you. Because, people always say you can't pour from an empty cup. Great, we understand that. But how do I fill my cup? How do I do it when I have little eyes watching me, when I'm trying to be a better daughter, be a better sister, be a better friend, a better employer? Like, how do I fill my cup effectively and understand my power? Like, we're used to just saying cute quotes, but we're not really giving people the tools that they need to do so. So it's important, even just like how you said, like, I'm rebuilding this thing, but you said it with a smile on your face. Sometimes it ain't always a smile there, right? But at the end of the day, you're going somewhere, and we have to give ourselves permission to grow, to become, and understand that things may be a little shaky right now, but it's not. That's not our final destination. It's not a forever position because we're getting positioned. So, yeah.
yeah, amen. And even for those who, again, they didn't even start building anything, that's fine.
Yeah.
What can you talk to them about? Because I feel like a lot of people, they're only in certain careers for money or because they're living out somebody else's identity because
Yeah.
they saw somebody on Instagram doing something and they're like, oh, I could do that or I could do it better than them or what,
Listen.
whatever. So what advice can you give about really, I mean, I ask this question every time I talk about purpose on the show. Um, but it's important, like, because people really are confused about how do they find out what their purpose is,
Yeah.
um, and what is purpose, and they're really operating on passions and potential. But what advice can you give us on like finding out what their purpose is?
Yeah. So your purpose. Okay. There's a difference between your purpose and your job sometimes, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, we have to be responsible adults and provide for ourselves and our household, right? So sometimes you have to do what you have to do, right? And it's glamorized now to just be the boss, start the business, do this and do that. But if you're building on a faulty foundation, what you're building is not going to last. It's temporary, right? So if I'm trying to build a water company because I feel like I can make better water than Essentia, right? Just because I want to compete, eventually it's going to crumble because that's not the lane I'm supposed to be in. There's no passion. There's no consistency. There's no, I'm not called to it. That's not where I'm supposed to be, right? So purpose is somewhere where you feel the fit. You know that I may not even have all the answers to it, but I know I'm supposed to be here in this arena. I don't know where I'm supposed to be, but I know this is where I'm supposed to be. And even in your purpose, you have to grow, you have to develop, you have to be refined, you have to go through the tough seasons of, all right, well, maybe this ain't for me. But if it won't leave you alone, 9 times out of 10, it's for you, right? So purpose is one of those things, just like anything else in life. It's a journey. And I mean, I keep saying it because people just want this instant gratification when life isn't about instant things. Life is about the journey of things, right? And so purpose is no different. Destiny is no different. Yes, it's established, it's there, but you have to show up and do the work. You have to show up and be prepared. You have to get what you need to get so that you can be effective while you're occupying that space of purpose. And so sometimes in some seasons, you may have to work for somebody else, or you may have to take a break and go to school for something, but you got to do what's necessary so that you can be effective while you're operating in purpose, right? If I showed up and said, okay, I know I'm called to help people, I'm just going to help them, whatever. And I didn't get life coaching certification. I didn't go to school and get, the degrees. If I didn't do the other stuff, and some people, are on the fence about school, certs, all that stuff. That's great. But for me, I don't do it just for letters behind my name. I do it so I can be effective in my area. I do it because learning new things, new skills, new modalities, all that stuff is going to help me to effectively help the people that I'm called to assist. So you kind of have to figure out, okay, this is where the arena, the amount of influence, this is what I'm called to do. Now, what do I need to do to prepare me in this season so that I can be effective in this area? And it may change. It may shift to another degree, another area, like real estate, for instance. There's different layers in real estate, right? It's not just real estate agent, investor, like there's broker, there's inspectors, there's all these other avenues that you can get into in that sphere of real estate. So one, I would say take off the limits. You don't have to just do, I know there's a book, there's a philosophy, one thing. That's great. That's cool for some people. But some of us are multidimensional. Some of us are multifaceted. Some of us, one thing ain't going to work. That doesn't mean that we do not steward well. But what it does mean is I won't allow your fears to put limitations on me because I'm not built to live in a box.
Right.
So I may have multiple things that I got going on, and that doesn't mean I'm not stewarding them well, but I'm not going to limit myself just to make you comfortable either.
Come on. All that. And again, all that what you just said, I'm sure somebody's like, all right, well, I just don't even know what my purpose is. And I mean, I've personally come across people in their 50s, maybe even 60s, and they had no idea. And I'm like, wow. Like, wow, how don't you know what your purpose, like, and God forbid any of you ladies or anybody watching this or hearing this will ever be in that mindset, like at 50, at 60, I don't know what my purpose on this earth is. And I mean, people's purpose may be they were just meant to be a mother, but I do think God called them to be much more than that, and they kind of probably missed the memo. So how can someone actually get the memo if they don't truly know? And I don't know if you know, I don't think you just answered that, but just if they just like, I really don't know, what are some pointers for them to try to find out?
The first thing would be, first of all, I would say pray about it. I mean, you have to pray, get direction, you have to see God, but you have to also listen for the answer. Some people are out of position, out of alignment because they got to do something they don't want to do. It's not glamorous to start a cleaning business sometimes, right? They want to be the one in front of the business. Sometimes you have to do some things, or you're called to do some things, and it's not what you want to do, but it's what you're called to do. And then when you actually accept it, like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do, this is where I'm supposed to be, then it's like, I get it now. I understand it. I went through all that stuff for this moment. So the first thing would be to pray about it, get direction on it. And then the next thing I would say would be to make a list. What do you like? What are you interested in? What gets you excited? What gets you motivated? If you could do one thing every single day, what would that thing be? What would it involve? Would it involve children? Would it involve cooking? Would it involve The community, like you have to start searching yourself to figure out what area, and you can start out being broad and then narrow it down little by little as you go through that process of trying to figure out, okay, what am I here for? What am I supposed to be doing? And understanding that there's really there's no like formula, right? There's no, okay, 1 + 1 = 2. This is how it's supposed to go. Sometimes you have to journey through some things. Sometimes you have to figure out, okay, I really don't like doing that. Like, no, I'm not doing it. And sometimes you get to something like, okay, I love this. How could I do this every day and get paid for it? Or how could I do this and assist? And, you know, you have to kind of go through the motions of figuring out who you are. And that's why identity is so important in purpose, because if you're trying to live out somebody else's purpose, you're always going to feel out of place. You're always going to feel frustrated. You're always going to feel overwhelmed. You're always going to feel like it's not working. It worked for them, but it don't work for me, because you're not supposed to be doing what they're doing. You know, like you're not supposed to be there. So even at 50, 60, 70, even the women that I come into contact at that age group, they were never given the opportunity to even explore the things that they like. And so, yeah, they were taught, oh, you could be whatever you want when you grow up. And then at a certain time, they started being conditioned. You can only do this. You know, back then, a lot of them worked at the phone company or, you know, different things like that. And so it's like, now they're understanding, I don't have to just be stuck here. I don't have to settle where somebody thinks I should be, right? I can open up that tutoring center. I could go back to school and I can open up this business or consult. I can do whatever I really desire to do. And sometimes you may be, you know, working that job still and do your purpose, passion project on the side. Like, there are different ways to make this thing happen, but you have to give yourself the room to explore and not be afraid to fail. We don't fail. We just learn the lessons and keep it moving. Sometimes things don't work out, but I got the experience. I now don't have a regret about it. So we have to give ourselves that space to even experiment with things and figure out who we are and what makes us tick.
Absolutely. And I love that you brought up the big F word.
Listen.
Failure or failing. And again, like, you can't pay for experience. Like, you have to go through the motions. And a lot of people have failed. I mean, a lot of the billionaires that we do have failed, or they got started very late in their journey. Yeah. So it's not like it's impossible. You have to try. You have to stick in there. Sometimes it might take more than a year or two. It might take 7 years. Like, you just never know. So again, go to God first about it. And a lot of people, and even myself, I'm still learning how to hear God, right? Before I even get started. Because at this point, I don't have time for no guessing. Did God say yes or no? Especially now we're talking about money, right? Or business decisions, or even if you're deciding who a life partner is, whatever it is, you don't have time to be playing this guessing game. Okay. So I'm sure Ashley is going to tell you that you definitely need to be seeking God genuinely. Yes. Not because he's going to tell you an answer, but genuinely seeking him, and not to make this all about Bible, but you know, the more you get into your word, the more he will reveal himself and the strategy. He'll give you more strategies also along the way. And I've noticed that personally. Some people come on social media for strategy and come and leave with confusion, but believe it or not, you take a break and you go into the word, you get more revelation. That's how it just works. Right. Yeah, it's the secret sauce. You're going into the secret place, and you will get strategies when you come out of it. But I understand a lot of people ain't there. Cool. Yeah. This is why we're here. This is why I feel like God is using myself and Ashley to come into the marketplace or come on social media or wherever to make sure the two align, right? Yeah. Make sure you understand, like, listen, he wants his children to be prosperous. He technically don't want them to be struggling, right? But you do have to seek him. And I know personally, I made a lot of decisions without God, and Yeah, I had to pay for them in the end. And I'm not going to say I did something like illegal or whatever, but I just made decisions without him. Or there was times I thought it was him confirming something and it just wasn't. And here we are, right? So
Listen, okay.
that's a
Like
whole
I
nother
thought I
conversation.
heard right. Like this one not where we supposed to be at. Listen, it's a part of the process.
Exactly. It is a part of the process. But I just love it. So let's talk about how you work with clients. And I'm assuming that you are a coach. You said you're a life coach.
Yeah.
So let people know how they can actually work with you with programs you probably have going on right now, courses that they can tap into on your in your community.
Yes. So girlcodecollective.com is the website. You can set up a discovery call and we can talk about where you are, where you're trying to go, what you're trying to do, all that good stuff. Inside the collective is like our coaching program, one-on-one sessions. They're completely customizable for the actual client. So it's not like a one size fits all. You're going to go through these steps. No. I have some people that are publishing books for the first time, starting apparel lines for the first time. I have people that are doing retreat type things and coaching as well. So like everything isn't going to fit everybody, but I tailor make it so that it fits you specifically. And that's what I love to do. And we just talked about the secret sauce. Like I am committed to stewarding well in the aspect of, personal development, coaching, business coaching, authorship coaching, because if people come to me and they need assistance, they need direction, they need strategy, if I'm not getting my strategy from the source, how's that going to effectively help them? So that we just talked about is imperative, but you can work with me that way on girlcodecollective.com. I do have e-course up right now, but I'm actually revamping like my whole e-learning platform. So there'll be some new courses coming out soon. But right now, I am still accepting a few more one-on-one clients before I start waitlisting some people.
Nice. I love that. I'm actually on your website now. I see a conference coming up.
Yes, April 8th and 9th, our second annual Girl Code Collective Conference. The theme is Lead Her Shift. So we have 2 days jam-packed with some dope women from all across the United States that are coming to pour in effectively to women. So we're talking about debt, money, operating in your space in the marketplace, purpose. We're doing mindset sessions, Zumba. It's a whole lot of stuff that's going on. So it's gonna be dope.
I might have to pull up
Listen,
and
it's
join the
virtual
conference.
this
Is it
year
going to be
too.
live? It's
Yes, it's
virtual.
virtual
Okay.
this year. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. So everybody, make sure you go subscribe to everything that Ashley is doing. Make sure you definitely go check out is it a podcast, right?
The I See You Sis session. Yeah, it's a
I see you,
podcast.
sis. That's the name of it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
That's
I'm
the episode. Yeah. So that's the episode. The podcast is Thrive with Ashley Speaks.
oh,
And then I just shared those I See You Sis episodes there. But they're also on Facebook and YouTube as well.
yeah. So y'all make sure y'all go check her out. So you have so you just say YouTube. So yeah. Anything else you want to say before we disconnect?
I would just say thank you for this opportunity, first of all, and shout out to everybody that is watching live and those that will watch the replay. I hope that something that we said really resonates with you, and I hope that you press into that. I hope that you press into the uncomfortable spot, the pain points that we pressed on today. It was intentional because it's time for you to actually answer that call. It's time for you to address that pain point and not just keep putting a band-aid on a bullet wound, but actually take the time to heal and even endure that process. It may be uncomfortable. It may be a little bit nerve-wracking or fearful, but you were created and called to do good things in the earth. And there's no need for you to live a life missing or lacking anything when this life is you're called to live is one of purpose. So we need you to get into position so we can thrive in our purpose, and so the people that are assigned to you can get into position and thrive in their purpose as well. So I would just encourage everybody to learn your identity, harness your power, and thrive in your purpose.
Amen. Amen. I would say So you went in with a prayer, but that was pretty much a prayer point right there. So y'all go back and listen to everything that Ashley said and just get started like right now. And if you need me for anything, Ashley, or anybody that's listening, I'm very friendly. I'm very open in my DMs. I answer questions. From time to time, I'll even throw in like a free 15-minute strategy session. Or we can just chat in the inboxes. So reach out, ladies, gentlemen, reach out to me if you need to. Ladies, definitely, you're trying to execute your business. You should be in my DMs now before that wait list, before this new loan comes out. But again, I hope everybody's inspired during this prep talk. We had to do this. I feel like this is something we could do.
I like really love this. This was really good.
I was like, hey, purpose and power, because you sent me those words. And I said, you know what? Prep talk, because we need a prep talk. It's the first of the month. We can't give you everything in a short amount of time, but we can get you started. Of course, you got to put in the work beyond this prep talk. So we probably got to do this again.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Love you much. And everybody, y'all have a blessed day. And make sure you subscribe to the Journey to DevelopHer podcast on YouTube and all of the podcast platforms. Take care. Bye.